Are live. It is a Tech East Tuesday. We're in the front room. The sun popped out the exact second I said that we were live at Tech East for Tech East Tuesday.
Look at that. There it is. Hello.
It was like, oh, y'all want to have a show, do you? I don't think so. You ain't gonna see it. No one else ain't gonna see it either. You in the sun. It is. It's a good day to be me. Good day to be me. I don't. Guys, as you know, everyone picked the Rams before the season started. Everyone knew the Rams were going to win the Super Bowl before the season started. Everyone.
Not true. It's not true.
But I knew. But I knew where my haters at? Where are all the people who like to talk about when I get one wrong? Got that one right. Got one right. I'm on that one. Where you at?
Was it Randy Moss who said straight cash, homie? Cash it in the bet, Levack. Even though you're not a Ram fan, holding that ticket in your hand, that money investment, a true investment into cash in Super Bowl 56, a winner, a cash in for Mr. Levack.
There's people who see talent and they realize how good talent is. You know what I mean? Like, I'm one of those guys. I see talent. I saw what the Rams were doing. Stafford now ties Brady 40 Super Bowls, regular season and postseason, winning a Super Bowl most in his season. 40 touchdowns during that whole thing. Huh? How you like that? Huh? I got to tell you, I think the only guy who's better at spotting talent than me is Mr. Greg Gattuso.
Ooh.
Have you seen the stories? Have you seen that people are starting to pop up and give him the respect he's due?
I don't know. Oh, yeah. If we get a hold of Coach at some point, I got to hear the story that's floating around the internet.
At some point. Just call him right now.
Oh,
whatever.
There's some
I'll
theories
just call him.
out here.
I don't care. I'll call him. I'll call Greg Gattuso. Coach Gattuso, we are live on the interwebs, so it's not like the same as radio. If you want to swear, you can. But I know that's not on brand for you. You don't have a potty mouth.
Who is it?
It's Levack and Goz. It's your best friends in the world.
It's been too long.
Oh, Levack, I just literally almost panicked. I almost called Katie right when you were getting ready to call, and I hung up real quick. So she might be calling me back, and you're in trouble if I don't pick
again.
up. I'm just telling you.
Listen, she's the only person I'm actually afraid of. Is your daughter, your beautiful, wonderful, talented, special, amazing daughter, Katie, who has been so good to the Levack family over at Mohawk Chevrolet. We're all driving Mohawk Chevy. She's greenlit them all. So please don't let her hurt me. Please.
I won't let her hurt you, but I can't make promises if I'm not around.
You know what? That's not what I needed to hear. Well, all right. So, Coach, obviously, I want to talk a little bit about what's going on at Albany right now because, you're in that formative period where you're putting your next competing team together. But I love that I'm seeing out there people giving you the credit where it's due. You and I were enjoying a nice cigar a couple weeks back, and you told me the story, of how you saw this player that no one else realized was going to be good. He was a 3-star recruit, and you saw him. Can you share with us the story of when you first realized Aaron Donald was going to be a special player?
Well, I mean, I can share the story of when I offered him the first time. I was at a game. We were recruiting a young man named Dan Mason, was a middle linebacker at Penn Hills High School in Western Pennsylvania. Danny ended up playing at Pitt, was a great player. But as the game was going on, I had heard about Aaron from my friend who was the AD there, but I hadn't seen him yet. And he was just wrecking the other team, as you can imagine, kind of like he did to the Bengals offensive line. And he just was just so dynamic, I couldn't take my eyes off him. I literally yelled to him one time coming off the field, "Aaron, you have a scholarship offer to Pitt." and we laugh about that story. I don't know if he really heard me or not, but I got on the phone with my boss afterwards, and Dave Wanstead, and he said, "How did Dan Mason play?" I said, "He played great, Coach, but I got to tell you, I offered Aaron Donald. He was amazing." Because you can't do that. We haven't even watched film on him. I said, "Well, I get the film. We'll watch him tomorrow. You're going to love him." And he did, and we offered him shortly thereafter, officially. He was just amazing to me. Even though he was 5'11" and Wasn't your classically big defensive lineman. He just was. I loved him. Thought he was special at the time.
Well, that's the thing right there. You said it, Coach. 5'11". There's so many times when someone says that height, a coach will run away. I think that speaks to what you said about his strength and his ability. That non-6 foot number didn't matter with a guy like him.
No, I never really got caught up in it. We had at the time. By the time we signed Aaron, we had a young man named Mick Williams, who I always tell everyone was Aaron Donald before Aaron Donald. You can imagine he was a lot like Aaron Donald. Wasn't as tall as Aaron, but he ended up being the Big East Defensive Player of the Year his senior year for Pitt in the old defunct Big East Conference. He was a very special player, but Mick Williams is 5'10", 260 pounds, and he was a ball of knives. You couldn't block him. So that was kind of the reason that Aaron kind of caught my eye more. Was Mick was the one that there was no reason we couldn't think that a guy Aaron could do it, even though he at the time he was probably about 5'11". So I've never really shied away from the smaller, explosive guys, and I'm glad I didn't with Aaron, because he, I love when he does something good because I'm on the radio about him like for 3 days after. So.
You Albany football coach Greg Gattuso with us right now, and Coach, you always said like he's as good off the field as he is on the field too, right? This is one of the real good guys in the world.
I think he is. He comes from a really good stock. I loved his family. His mom and dad were great, and he had a brother, Archie, who was a good football player that played at Akron, played the NFL. Aaron's a good guy. That he's always got a smile on his face. He's very pleasant. He's always been the same, And obviously I keep in touch with Aaron a little bit, but here and there. But I never like to text people like that the night of a game. But I was pretty amped up that he won the Super Bowl, so I texted him at midnight or something. Hey, congratulations! The last 2 plays of the game were so special. That's why you're the best. Congrats on the Super Bowl. And like today at 2:00, he sent me a little response. That's
awesome.
The kind of guy Aaron Donald is. He's a great guy. Just an incredible human being.
And you taught him his core workout too, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, we very much have similar cores. I just keep mine like you, keep it covered.
Right. You got to protect it. You don't want to, yeah.
You use a little more padding than I do, but we all have different levels of padding. Aaron just happens to have no padding.
For some reason, I'm thinking about core and the video of me celebrating Syracuse's clinching March Madness. My core was also not being worked on like Aaron Donald's, as you know, Coach.
I asked you very nicely if you brought that up to tell me so I could pull over before I just swerved on the highway right now. The vision of that is burned into my mind like nothing. The most horrible thing you could see. Like I said before, it's like you walk in and caught your parents in a bad situation. That's what I feel like every time someone brings it up, or I meet someone whose name starts with a G, or unfortunately for the poor Polish people that I meet, I laugh, and they think I'm laughing at them, but I'm not. I'm laughing because of your core. Or should I say, your lack of core?
It does not matter. Like every time I get a chance to hang out with Coach Gattuso, whatever we're talking about, it'll ultimately like he always asks how you're doing, and then right after I go, oh, he's good, everything's cool. He'll go, that video haunts me.
Coach, here's what I'll do for you. Here's what we'll do. It's been 2 years since Levack and I have been able to do our fun wager on March Madness. I will offer this on the table right now with you. If I lose to Levack's daughter, which is what the competition is, that might be my punishment again. That I will have to recreate that video.
Do you still have the same clothes?
Yeah, I got the Pro Washington shirt. That Coach may have just inspired the punishment for this year's March Madness.
It's a punishment for all of us, Coach.
Well, tell Bells I'm on her team. I will 100% support whatever she's doing to beat him.
I'll have to let her. She's an 18-year-old girl. I'm not as cool as I used to be. I'm gonna have to get her to actually fill it out. I might need you, Coach, to reach out to her on campus and be like, "Hey, fill this out. We all need it."
Let me know. I'm on it. Well, I'll do everything I can to help her win. If this is the competition and we can get another video of this recreation, I don't know. It could shatter the world. Who knows? Bad things come with it.
Coach Gattuso with us. How are the Great Danes starting to come together? How's everything look? How do you feel about this squad? I know it's there's things you can say and can't say and blah blah blah. I don't know what they are, but how's everything looking? How you feeling?
Good. I think we're breaking in some new coaches and we're working hard on kind of getting together on how we're going to do things. It's a big blend of personalities. We got, I think, 15 new players at the mid-year here now with this transfer portal, which is a whole nother thing. But at the end of the day, we're excited about it. There's a lot of energy around us right now, and I like that. I think, Jared Ambrose is our offensive coordinator, and everything's going great with him. I'm really excited. We've been having good conversations. I think running the football is on both of our agendas. I had great advice from my old boss, Dave Wonstead, when I talked to him. He said, when you interview offensive coordinators, just remember one thing. They're all going to say they're going to run the ball, but only a few will actually do it. So that's a guy for an NFL coach. And I think Jared and I are really on the same page, that we want to be a good running football team. And I think that's going to be a positive. So, we hired Kashif Moore to coach our receivers. Kashif played in the NFL and played at Connecticut. Good player, good young coach. So we have some new people in new positions, and we're just kind of getting things ready, getting ready for spring ball. It starts April 1st.
I love it, Coach Gattuso. I'm sure. When you coach with a guy like Wonstead, does that make you want to grow a mustache, or realize no one can grow that mustache?
You can't get no one can duplicate his stash. It's hard to do. We played Central Florida one year at Central Florida, and we came out of the tunnel, and every student in the student section had the porn stash on with a sign, basically, making fun of Coach Wani. It was, I wish I had my cell phone out. I could have taken a picture, but it was priceless. Even he was laughing when he came out. So tough to match Wani with a mustache.
Oh man! Oh, Coach, thanks for making time. Please go call your daughter back right away so she doesn't harbor any ill will towards me, because I'm afraid.
Coach, we'll be talking in April.
We're going to talk in April?
Yeah, because I'm going to come to practice maybe and do the dance for you too for the Syracuse thing. How about that for spring ball?
Dude, you should definitely do that, because I guarantee you that if you come and do that for my team, we're going to go down and get after the Baylor Bears. All right? So you come. If anything can inspire these football teams to rise to the level of beating a number 5 team in the country, it's you recreating that league and all that fell out.
How did we not think to do that before the Q's game last year? You guys would have run them.
Oh my God!
Oh man, Coach, best of luck. I'll talk to you soon. We got to get together and talk about Goz.
So we always do. Right. Sounds good, guys. Good talking to you.
There he goes, Coach Gattuso. He is one of the best. That's pretty amazing. Like, you go to scout somebody else and you go, hey, this 3-star kid, Aaron, he looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and get him. Let's bring him in.
Shout out to Coach, man. What a great get. And you remember this too. By the way, I felt awful there. Like, he's trying to tell a story about his daughter. Hey, Coach, what about my belly hanging out? Just jumping in like
he was going to go back to that eventually. Anyway.
Right? I felt that feeling. But back to the Aaron Donald thing. You remember this too, because this was one of your early takes back in our, we'll call it traditional media land, that people were hating on Donald even when he came out of Pitt. Even when he was the ACC player of the year, people were like, oh, the Rams don't need him. You took heat about the Rams taking him. And look how you got doubled down, Levack. You knew the Rams should have drafted him, and you can't.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that too, because I picked him in our mock draft segment, and everybody went nuts. Like, you already have a good defensive line. Why would they do that? I'm like, because he's special. And they were like, he's short. He's not this. He's not that. And like, at that point, so I'll put myself. So Coach Gattuso won for spotting him and going, hey, without the authority to do so, offering him a scholarship to Pitt. And then me 1A for mock drafting him and taking the slings and arrows. I think there was the one guy who actually manned up and called back like a year later and went, not only were you right, it was the right pick. But that's rare. That's few and far between. Yeah, he at that point. So Aaron Donald, he had scholarship offers from Toledo, Akron, and Rutgers. And then Gattuso goes, no, come to Pitt. And then he stays home with Pitt, and he's a beast. He's now 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, 8 Pro Bowls in 8 years, 7 All-Pros in 8 years. He's made about $97 million so far, been to 2 Super Bowls, won 1.
He's got 3 years left on his current contract. There was talk immediately following the game that he might retire.
We're going to play Will They Really Retire a little later in the show.
Ooh, okay, all right.
Yeah,
I'll ruin that then. All right.
Yeah, but I mean, I think we got to do it.
When we're talking about great people, we're talking about great performances. What about our friends over at Mohawk Honda? Levack, you're looking at it right now, the 2022 Pilot EXL driven by old Ghazi Bear. There it is.
Yeah,
right
you
there.
get the decked out. Like, you get the moon roofs. You get all this. The guy who doesn't know what buttons are gets all the buttons. I don't know how that works.
Shout out to Greg Johnson. Shout out to Cam McKenna. Shout out to everybody over Mohawk Honda. I was there this past weekend. It was bumping. So many great people doing great work. And now I get to drive around the Capital Region with this new vehicle. It's affordable. It fits my budget. It's got the baby rec seats ready to go. It's got some space back there. That's what they want to do at Mohawk Honda. They'll help you find a vehicle that fit all those things I just mentioned and more. Inventory. I know you're looking for a vehicle. It's so hard in upstate New York to find it, but Mohawk Honda will do that for you. They'll find it. Glenville, New York, wherever you listen to this podcast, it is worth the drive to Glenville to find that vehicle that you want. We love our friends at Mohawk Honda, people that you can trust. Mohawk Honda, where they always go out of their way to please you.
Love the Harridan family. Love them. They're the best. They really, really are. And, I drive my Mohawk Chevy. You drive your Mohawk Honda. But, so we always make sure we say the Mohawk part. Because that's the difference. You could get, well, actually, to be honest with you, normally I could go, you could get a car anywhere. No, you really can't. You got to go to the Mohawk because they have the relationships with Honda, with Chevrolet to get them. It's an experience. It's a whole nother experience. So make sure you do that for yourself. Tech East Tuesday, Levack and Goz. It's Feel the Love February. So if you go to the Tech East Fire and Water Restoration Facebook page, like this comment, make sure you've liked the page, comment on this post. And you could win yourself a pair of flex tickets to check out the Albany Empire this upcoming season. We're very excited. We just made another big signing, and it's to the point now where there was already a target on the Empire's back. Now it's the size of friggin' Montana. Everybody is saying that there's no way we can lose. The other teams are like conspiring against us, in my opinion. There's collusion in the league. It's going to be insane. So make sure you win those tickets. Like the Tech East Facebook page. Make sure you comment on this post. Ask a question. We got Q&A at the end of the day coming up. So ask your question now, and we'll try to get to it right at the end of the show. But
the Tech East page, by the way, I saw some people try to comment on your personal Instagram, my personal Instagram. We appreciate the comments. Tech East's page is where we want to send those comments.
Right.
Our personal
and my personal Instagram is boring. It's legitimately for family. So don't try to friend it or any of that. It's not worth it. Facebook, Twitter, I do some stuff. A lot of people
roll like I'm ready to suit up. I'm ready to run out there for you guys. I'm like, no, not here. Although I appreciate the engagement. Get over there to Tech East and do it over there.
Yeah.
Antoine Grant, baby. I texted you. That's a huge signing for the Empire today. Let's not underplay Mr. Grant. Why do I keep calling everybody Mr. today? I don't know, but I kind of like it.
When he's that damn good, you can.
Yeah.
Rookie of the year in the AFL for the Atlantic City Blackjacks in 19. Played for the Columbus Lions last year. He is going to be a member of the Albany Empire this year. Very excited to be here, and it's just cool. Like the Albany Empire Air Force is legit. Like to the point where I'm almost in that level of a guy who's looking on and going, they do know we only have one football per play, right? They do know we're only allowed to throw one. Like Faithful and Cashnova, like they Pindell, they only whoever wins that starting job, they can only throw one football. I think we have the best and second best team in the league right now.
Here's the good part. They can only complain about it to coach, and they can complain about it to the broadcaster. I think you get the dodge out of that as the president. You don't have to deal with the player complaints with having that many good talent on the field.
Oh, yeah, dude, I'm not. We all know that it would not have the talent it has if I was doing what Coach Manasseh is doing. Like, Coach Manasseh, he's the guy. He goes out. He does all that. Him, Coach Ware, Jay Rich, McKinney, Johnson, they go out. They get these guys. I sit here and try to find, reasonable living space for our players. I go out and I try to get deals with Elevation 10K to make sure that everybody's wearing the best gear, which you can get on our team store at albanyempire.nal.com. Very exciting stuff going on. Feel the Love February. Make sure you comment on the page. I just saw our buddy Bill Fish, who said, "This is my comment." That's his comment.
I love that guy.
I gotta be careful what I say to him. He's been through some things. He's a Bills fan. He's been through some things. He's been through some things. I feel bad about the Bills. Look, I won I don't want to say I didn't win as big as I could have won. If the Rams had beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, I mean, we're talking significant comma action. Like we're talking real comma action.
Ooh.
Chiefs not owning up to their end of this thing, the Bengals sneaking in, giving us a hell of a game. I didn't win as big as I could have, but I definitely won. I've cashed out of that. I had already cashed out the money I put in to online wagering. I'd already cashed that out. I cashed out the same amount again. So now I'm playing. I left enough in to play and have some fun and maybe do some futures and God forbid baseball get their act together. I'll be able to bet baseball too. But I am now at a point where I can lose all the money in my accounts twice and still be up. Thanks to the Rams. So thank you, Rams. Thank you. Good job. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for doing that for me. I appreciate that. I know there was other why is it family? No, I know it was all for Levack. I appreciate it.
A lot happened in that Super Bowl. Some New York ties here too, right? Odell Beckham Jr. is having a great game. Likely blows out his knee. Jalen Ramsey, who there was talk maybe at one point a New York team could make a move on him. He ends up getting burnt, but maybe illegally with the face mask and everything else.
Arm drag takedown.
Yep. The offensive line was getting beat up by Aaron Donald and Von Miller, but we all knew that was the storyline going in.
Aaron Donald's offsides the last play of the game.
Yes, like it was a really good Super Bowl. It was competitive. It was right there. But the question I really want to get at is this. Okay, so the Buccaneers won the year before.
Yep.
The Rams won this year.
Yep.
It's too early now.
Who's home? Who's the home team?
Who's the home team of the Super Bowl? Arizona's the home team coming up.
So the Cardinals finally win one? Is that what we're saying? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Possibly.
They're one of four. They're one of what, 6 teams or whatever? I know 4 have never been. They haven't won.
The 4 that haven't been, I'm guessing, are Lions, Browns, Texans.
3. You got
I got
3.
those fast. Lions, Browns, Texans.
You're gonna be mad if you don't get it. You're gonna be mad if you don't get it.
Jags.
Growl, you are correct. Growl. I'm not high-fiving you.
I won't aggravate that.
Growl.
I mentioned this, like the Rams. Okay, you picked them preseason.
Yes.
Is there anything a New York team can do here in the next 6 months to follow the game plan the Rams did to win the Super Bowl, and even in similar fashion of the Buccaneers 2 years ago?
Bills are close. I mean, the Bills are right there. I would think for the Bills, maybe an upgraded pass rush. Maybe an upgrade, like add a little O-line. Like they didn't do anything wrong last season. Like they're close. They're knocking on the door. I could easily put money on the Bills to win it all next year and feel confident going into it. I had money on the Bills to win it all this year, just way less than I had on the Rams. I would say Bills have the best chance. Giants, a lot of turnover, man. A lot of turnover. Jets, they'd have to go crazy in free agency. They'd have to add like Devontae Adams. They'd have to get 2 more offensive linemen at least. There's a lot that would have to happen, and I'd have to believe in Zach Wilson. So no. So of New York, the only team that I would be comfortable putting my hard-earned or hard-won money on would be the Bills.
Yep, and it's that theory of going all in, right? Like the Giants and Jets just don't have the pieces that the Rams. No, right? Like. Now, look, the Bucks and Rams maybe is not even a great comparison because the Bucks became an all-in team because of Brady. Once Brady signed with Tampa, some guys who were veterans were willing to take less money, too quick to jump out.
But they were already farther along. Like Jameis Winston was the issue. Jameis Winston is a guy who could go out there and throw 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions in a season. Like he's the Jose Canseco football. He's in the 30-30 club out of nowhere. So when you brought in a guy who was going to not turn the football over, you instantly became better. Now, not only is the guy who's not turning the football over, it's the GOAT. So Gronkowski comes over, and everybody who wants to ring starts following the Pied Piper to Tampa. So that's different. Let's say Brady doesn't retire. If he goes to the Giants, I might look at him because you got to believe he sees something. But that'd be about it. Like the Jets aren't there. The Jets, I like what the Jets are doing. I don't know if I believe in their quarterback. But I like what Big Game Bob Saleh's doing. I like all that. So I think they'll get there. They're just not there yet.
No, and look, New York teams, the only positive for 2022 when you look at the Super Bowl, just like focused in on those 2 teams, is that Joe Burrow and the Bengals went from the worst team in the NFL to a division champion and a few minutes away from being a Super Bowl champion. The formula of getting a number 1 overall pick or a top 5 quarterback and getting you to the Super Bowl is looking more real than ever before. Look, the Panthers did it with Cam Newton. I know he wasn't the number 1 overall pick, but Matt Ryan was a top 10 pick. We could go through the list of other players that have been able. Andrew Luck was a victory away in the Deflategate game. Like, there are players with that top tier quarterback that are now helping those teams get there. Is Daniel Jones the guy? We'll find out come draft time if they still are committed to him. The Jets still want Wilson because it's only been year one, but there is a path here for the New York teams with the quarterback. Josh Allen's a given. Like, Josh Allen,
right? Well, still a number one overall quarterback still hasn't won a Super Bowl. I think only 3 number one overall picks have won. Was it? David Carr was on the bench for the Giants.
Yes. The one that jumped out to me, because I think the trivia stat was Heisman Trophy winning quarterbacks that were number one. Jim Plunkett, was it a number one overall pick?
No, because Eric Fisher and David Carr were the only number one overall picks who had won a Super Bowl, I'm pretty sure.
Wow.
After the Chiefs won. So I have to look to be sure. But, like, yeah, number one over. You think about it. When you're drafting a quarterback number one overall, you are either propelling your team forward and hoping that whoever let you get to that point where you have the number one overall pick isn't in charge or as part of their game plan to get there, or you're going to suck because the people who got the quarterback still suck. But Burrow being where he was, I think the Bengals are definitely a team that they're going to be a top 3 or 4 AFC team next year because winning breeds winning. I still think the Chiefs will be right there. I think the Bills will be right there. I'm very curious to see if the Raiders can get some kind of traction now in free agency, because you're a playoff roster. If you added Devontae Adams, if you add, some O-line and stuff like that, depending upon what you do with Derek Carr's contract, you could be a team that not only gets to the playoffs. It's not like, oh, we made it across the finish line, we're in the playoffs. You get a team that can actually compete. Bengals are still ahead of them because of Burrow, but like there's a lot going on in that AFC right now. A lot that could be a lot of fun. With their loss, the Bengals join some elite company in the NFL. 0-3 in the Super Bowl. The only teams worse.
Ooh, let me guess.
Okay, all right.
Bills.
0-4.
Vikings.
That's it. Those are the only two who are worse. 2 0-4 teams. Bengals losses have come by an average of 4 points, with 2 coming on go-ahead touchdowns in the last 90 seconds. Heartbreak City, baby. Heartbreak City for the Cincinnati Bengals.
One of them was the legendary Montana drive, right, where he points to the crowd and says there's a celebrity in the crowd. I cannot believe I just forgot the celebrity's name he points to. One is Montana. I don't know the other one. That's heartbreak for Cincinnati for sure.
Absolutely. All right. And, you talk about the quarterback. Is it not just the quarterback? It's you got to get that weapon, right? Because every running back is about to get a pay cut. The Rams average 1.9 yards per rush. They are the 5th team to average fewer than 2 yards per rush in a Super Bowl, and they're the only team to do it and win. So now that everybody's going to go hire everybody who's ever had a cup of coffee. Actually, is McVay old enough for coffee? Everybody who's ever had a Yoo-hoo with McVay, now it's going to be like, well, running backs are okay, but hey, man, as long as we've got, Cooper Kupp, everything will be fine.
Glad you brought up coffee. I was just going to tweet out the other day. I didn't have coffee with creamer. I'm like, my wife goes, I go, Jordan, I had coffee today without creamer. She goes, wow, you're a warrior.
Cowboy coffee. Call that cowboy coffee.
What a warrior, man. I'm so brave out there as a grown man drinking coffee without creamer. Wow. For me.
One of my former, stops in this radio microphone world was on a country station. The amount of different ways you'll hear coffee described by the older guard of the country radio world. Yeah, you could pussy it up for me. I'm sorry. Excuse me. I don't know if I have sweet and low. Meow. What? Training wheels, cowboy coffee. All those ones. I don't touch it unless it's got Jack in it. Stuff like that. I used to hear a lot of interesting. Like, my old line of I like my coffee like I like my women. Hot, fresh, and available in every corner. That's Mulrooney, who when I used to work on picks, Mulrooney's. I love my coffee like I like my women with tits.
There's so many of these.
Yeah.
I'm in a new world right now. I'm a coffee guy. All right.
Levack and Goz, Techies Tuesday while we're still allowed here. Wide receivers. So, wide receiver has got to be almost as important as quarterback, right? Because Jamar Chase getting in there when everybody thought you should go Penei Sewell, go get him in there. The big old offensive lineman. They go get Jamar Chase. Look what happens. Cooper Kupp this year, he won the receiving Triple Crown, Offensive Player of the Year, Super Bowl MVP. He and Jerry Rice are the only wide receivers in NFL history to do all those things in their entire career. Kupp did it in one season.
He is like gasped when I watch Cooper Kupp because he gets the ball every time. I'm like, oh, he's going to get tackled quick. Like, he's going to get tackled. He never is. He is so much of a better athlete than I realize. Colin Taylor, our guy CT, former Empire champion, he mentioned like the route running of Cooper Kupp, where he's just so precise with what he does and how he gets there. Now, CT did say he was a better route runner, but what Cooper Kupp does is great. And I want to give a shout out. I don't know if you remember this, Levack. One of our old callers named Kenan Latham called us one time and said, guys, the guy is Cooper Kupp. He's a Rams fan. Shout out to Ken if somehow he figured out how to work a podcast. He's got
to be over the moon right now.
Right? That's his team.
Yeah.
But he is, Cooper Kupp, the way he plays, the route running, the connection with Stafford, he is poised to be the best wide receiver in football for years to come. Obviously, stay healthy, all that other stuff, but you have these conversations of who's the best wide receiver. It is not even a question. It's Cooper Kupp. And after that performance, like, I know people love to talk about the MVP of the league. I don't know how I could argue Rodgers and Brady are great. He was the best player in the NFL in 2020.
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, you think about it. One of my most dominant fantasy teams was called Cupping Farts because I had Cooper Kupp on it. First season together, Stafford and Cooper Kupp, 22 touchdowns, including the playoffs. Second most by a QB receiver duo in the history of the NFL, trailing only. Come on, trivia boy.
Give that to me one more time.
All right, 22 touchdowns in their first season together. Stafford and Kupp.
I got it.
Trailing only.
Brady and Moss.
There you go. Back in 24 touchdowns back in 2007, their first season together. Look at you. You got trivia tonight, don't you?
I do. Doghouse at Clifton Park.
How many of these are going to be on that?
I'm starting to think about maybe adding a few.
I'll leave it written in there for you.
Yeah.
I'll leave them in there for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's definitely in this current league with the rules the way they are. Pass interference is ticky-tacky at best sometimes. You got to go get a true one. You got to get a true receiver. These teams that do it without a monster, even a tight end like Kelsey or Mark Adams or Gronk or whoever, you got to have that one receiver that changes everything else. Takes the top off of defense, opens up your running game, can make the catch. Like that last drive, the longest drive in the history of the Super Bowl, the Little Super Bowl. Everyone knew where the ball was going. It was going to Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp is like, everybody's talking about how like Matt Stafford stubs his toe. He's he's off the field. He's like, oh my God, Matt Stafford is hurt. Kupp is like, can't get up. There's like 4 people helping him up. It's like James Brown at the end of a show. They put a jacket over him. They got to help him up. Like, and he's like, I think ball's gonna go back to Kupp. You mean the guy who's dead in the corner of the field? That's the guy. Okay, all right. Sure enough, it goes to Kupp. He catches another touchdown. He deserved the MVP. I thought he was a legit shot, but I thought Stafford would get it before the game. But as that drive went on, it's like, dude, it's Kupp all day.
Yes, and I love your take on this. I'm totally with you because it is a big change in the NFL. You and I talked to a lot of football fans that was their favorite take over the last 8 to 10 years is that you don't need a top wide receiver. People used to argue against Odell Beckham Jr. and Sammy Watkins and all these guys in the NFL that said, New York teams took these guys too high. You don't need a wide receiver. And they'd run through the list of all the top leading receivers for the Patriots. But they just conveniently leave off that Brady was the quarterback. And they also conveniently leave off who the star running backs were on that team because the running backs were far worse.
And they would have receiving numbers that were comparable to some of the best receivers in the game.
Yes, the NFL has changed. It is heading in this direction, whether you want to talk about rule changes, quarterback play, mobility. That is the change in the NFL. That take in the mid-2000s to mid-2010s, you might be right. We're in the 2020s now, and you need to start wide receiver to make plays in the playoffs.
And I know I should save this for later, but I have to because Toots McGee. Yeah, but how many number 1 overall quarterbacks are dramatically overdrafted? It's the most overdrafted position by far because it's so important. That's 100% correct. It's 100% correct. It's not just that they're overdrafted, though. They're also drafted into crappy situations. If you can have a bad team as part of a good organization and know it's going to get better. But when you've got a bad team as part of a bad organization, I'll shoot my Raiders. When you're the Raiders and you don't have a rudder, Al Davis is losing his mind, everything. He wants to go back to the way it used to be. And you go, Jamarcus Russell, he had one good game. Let's go get the big fella. And he shows up to camp like 100 pounds overweight. You love to tell the story. They proved he wasn't even checking out the playbook. He wasn't watching tape. That's a bad draft. It's an overdraft on a bad organization. You're not going to win. You're going to cripple yourself. They say overdrafting like that, blowing the first overall pick on a quarterback, sets you back 3 years. I think it set the Raiders back 4, 5, 6 years. And, they finally get Carr, and now half of Raider Nation, my people, are like, we got to get rid of Carr. For who? For who?
Toots McGee is totally right. The problem is that we are in a spot now that if you run that risk and it pays off, the payoff is bigger than the drop off. I know you said right there, like 4 to 5 years, it can derail a franchise. Everybody can lose their jobs. Yes. But if you get it right and trade up in a draft like you do for Allen and Mahomes and, spots like Herbert, Lamar Jackson, they traded up to get him to make sure that a controllable year it can work. And it's worth the risk now. We're seeing especially how good the young quarterbacks are.
Absolutely. Levack and Goz, it is a Tech East Tuesday live here at Tech East Fire and Water Restoration, your best way back to normal. Check them out online, tefirewater.com. And it's amazing to me the amount, like we had that quick cold snap, pipes bursting all over the place again. All over the place again. People hitting us up. I got your boy Jared hit me up.
Oh.
Your boy Jared hit me up. And he's like, look, I got a buddy, and I want you to tell people about Jared. Is that okay? Can you?
Yeah, that's right. You can.
But he's like, I got a buddy. I'm not sure how this is going to work insurance-wise based on this policy, but I know that I want him to talk to you guys. And I'm like, 100%. We'll get. I think we sent Jay out. I think we sent Jay or Don. One of our two guys. No, it's Don. We sent Don out. Literally, any of our guys are great. Jeremy, Don, Jay. Paulie's a little weird, but he knows what he's doing. It's amazing, and out there helping right now. So that's working well together with our guy Jared.
Look at this, a
little
little connection. Shout out to Jared Lozier. Did he see him on the Super Bowl, by the way? His little face was out there, looking fresh as always.
Not every redheaded person is the same person.
No, that was him.
Oh, the difference because he shaved his head. Remember when you used to think Chris Honorado and every other redhead was the same person?
Jared Lozier,
is Chris Honorado.
Northeastern Insurance is where he works. And like
Kevin
Matt just said, he's helping everybody. JAREDL at nemail.com. JAREDL at nemail.com. Email him, ask for a quote. He'll tell you stories like Levack and I. It's so cool hearing people work with Jared and having great success. Do the same for yourself now or call him today, 518-956-3753. Nothing would make Levack and I more happy if it's midnight, you're betting on a West Coast basketball game, you just randomly call Jared and say, Jared, I got to find a way to make some money right now or save some cash. 518-956-3753. Jared Lozier, Northeastern Insurance, going through, finding the quotes for you and helping you save some cash in 2022, protecting things that are important to you. Car, business, all that stuff.
And he can take a nut shot like nobody's business. Known thing, true thing. Jared Lozier, good. I like him a lot better when he's smart enough to call me and Tech East when he needs help. That's what I like. If you want to be on the Levack and Goz show, have a fun name. Commenting on the Godzilla Media YouTube, Toots McGee is back.
My God, it's Toots' music.
That's very fair. I think it's easier to be good at almost any other position because quarterback play is so dependent on the weapons around you. Being any other position is pretty much dependent on your own skill set. It takes a really singular QB to be great on a bad team. Russell Wilson, we saw be good in spite of less than stellar wide receivers, less than stellar offensive line. Brady made receivers better because how quick he would get rid of the ball because it was always where it needed to be. You go back, there's guys who have always been able to do it. But, yeah, you've got to have some synergy. The fact that Jamar Chase is allegedly calling the neighbors around Joe Burrow trying to buy their houses because he wants to live next to his quarterback is amazing to me, and I hope it happens, and I hope that someone's smart enough to film it.
Just be like have like the doors at the old hotels, right? Just merge the houses somehow, build one center room, and that's where they play.
Well, you've been in your house for a while, but a lot of when you've been in your house has been during the pandemic.
Yeah.
There's I've always had neighbors growing up where if their garage is open and lights on, you go over, you grab a beer and you walk on over. I'm imagining Jamar Chase cleaning his lawnmower off at the end of the day, and here comes Joe Burrow with his cigar. What's up, buddy? That's with a sixer. Whatever the Ohio beer of choice is, just whatever. Here we go.
Great Lakes. That's the Ohio beer. Shout out to our guy Jesse over at Great Lakes. Toots McGee, by the way, I feel like that's about Stafford, isn't it? It's a lot of that he just said as Matthew Stafford he's describing. A player that single performance is hard, but other performances can do. That's like a very good Stafford description.
Yeah, and which is weird too, because remember, he did have Megatron. Like we want to destroy Detroit, and for good reason. They had a lot of good players, bad coaching staffs, bad players, whatever coaching staff, whatever. But Stafford was there all the way through. You almost want to see what would have happened if he had been able to, get out of there earlier, because he still looks. He looks like a scalded dog. Like he looks like when anybody who's ever adopted an animal from a shelter, that you literally reach over to high five the missus or whatever, and they're like, oh crap, oh no, I'm gonna get hit. It's like, no, not in this house, buddy. No, it takes some time to break that. There's times this season where I'm watching Stafford going, that dude still thinks he's about to get hit. Like, and look, every quarterback gets hit, but he looked like somebody who wasn't 100% comfortable yet, and they won the freaking Super Bowl. If everybody who matters comes back and they do this, like, how much better is he going to be next year? Was I a year ahead on my Matt Stafford MVP of the league prediction?
Maybe. I mean, here's the thing with Stafford. Oh, yeah, I feel like you're setting me up for the Hall of Fame or not thing now, because what he did this season, as good as he was, I believe he led the league in interceptions and pick sixes. So even though he was good at times, he struggled at times. I feel like that's a setup, though, because I heard you think he's a Hall of Famer. I think I want to play your game, Levack. I'm jumping the gun here. I think I want to play Hall of Fame or not.
Hall for Stafford?
Yeah.
He's in.
Ooh.
I think the Super Bowl puts him on the top. His numbers are great. What was the one he beat more? He beat the same amount or more 10-win teams this year than he did his entire career with the Lions. It's just like you can see who he is now. He had good numbers all the way through. He got a chance to play on a top caliber team, and he made them better. Like this team beats the Patriots in Atlanta with him.
Oh, you're talking about this? Okay, so with the
you put
Goff.
him, yeah.
Goff.
Goff. I mean, look at little hands, not his fault. Can't hold a whopper. Like, it's fine. I get it. It's genetics. What are you gonna do? But like, Stafford's a better quarterback. I think he gets in.
I think, depending on how his career wraps up here, as if Matthew Stafford retired today, he'd not be a Hall of Famer. Now, you're projecting, like you just said there too, could potentially the Rams be better next season? This guy has played 12 years in the NFL.
No, if you stop right now, I still put him in.
All right, okay. Here's why I'd struggle with the Stafford thing to put him in. Here's his quarterbacks that are going to get him above him. Brady's getting in, obviously. Yeah. Rodgers is going to get in. Rivers and Roethlisberger should both get in. Eli is going to get in, although that's going to be one of the most interesting quarterback decisions of all time. I put Stafford with Matt Ryan. Like, Matt Ryan and Stafford, both named Matt, how strange, are very interesting because Matt Ryan statistically and win-wise has been better than Stafford. But Stafford now has the Super Bowl. Matt Ryan, could argue, blew the 28-3 lead, even though he doesn't play defense. Or maybe they're both in, because Matt Ryan has the MVP. Stafford doesn't.
Doesn't have the Super Bowl, though.
Doesn't have the Super Bowl.
So wait, Rivers is a slam dunk for you?
I would say Rivers, because he's going to rank in his career top 10 in passing touchdowns, passing yards, more playoff victories than Stafford. I would put in Rivers ahead of Stafford, yes.
So Rivers on the Chargers, and you can make the argument there were a lot of years where he was the only good player on the Chargers, or at least the only good offensive player. Goes to a better team. Colts team is supposed to get it done. Doesn't get it done. Stafford, for years and years and years and years and years, is the pride of the Lions, pun intended. Goes to a better team, gets it done. Hall of Fame, not Hall of Stat. Hall of Fame, I think he gets in before Rivers.
Man.
I mean, Rivers will get in first because he retired first. But if they were both on the same ballot and I had to pick one, I'd pick the guy who got it done.
Oh, boy. Here's what I'm trying to compare Stafford to. Because he's had a great career. Like, he is going to be right on the edge. And I know I talked to you about it last week. And maybe I'm a little bitter right now because guys who I thought would be slam dunks like Reggie Wayne, Torrey Hall, DeMarcus Ware not getting in on the first team. Devin Hester's case is interesting, but like those guys were no doubts. And that's where I think the problem comes with Stafford. Our guy, Chris Trapasso from CBS Sports, had this take, and I hate to say it because Skip Bayless also had this years ago, and I feel like this is the answer. Guys like Stafford, if I have to ask, like I didn't have to ask about Rodgers, Brady, Manning, Breeze, that whole era. Stafford being on the borderline, I'm trying to figure it out. Like, I don't think that the Lions' seasons can be ignored. And the problem is, like you're saying, he's the greatest line quarterback ever. You know what I mean? Like, who is better as a line? Who is better as a line quarterback than Stafford? Right, Bobby Lane, I guess is true.
A line quarterback? There's a lot of them. Brett Favre.
Lying.
Oh yeah. All right. So I'm not even going to look at this because I have a feeling I know what this is. Chad Duro, who from the Hideaway. We love the Hideaway. They're open, by the way. But do we know who's buying the Bloody Mary? Did you check out the things?
I went 4 for 5. I got to be honest, I did not count yours.
Wow, thanks for nothing. He put up. He just commented on the Tech East Fire and Water Restoration Facebook page. Stats Pro comparing Joe Namath versus Matthew Stafford. Now he is a Jets fan. He is a Jets fan, so there's a chance it's not as bad as I think it is. But we are not going to do the Namath hate. There will be no Namath hate on this.
Chad.
No Namath hate. No, it's a different era. It's a different era.
For those who don't know, and I don't know if Chad even knew what he walked into, this was a classic Gen Z debate. Anybody under 25, Levack, you'd say the right age? Anytime Joe Namath was brought up, the people would start banging on their keyboards that Joe Namath is overrated. Then the calls would light up for everybody over 60. I feel like the age of 25 and under now has an advantage in the non-traditional world. I don't know if the 60-year-olds can hit this as much as they used to. I agree with you. We're not touching Namath, Chad. Yeah. How dare you try to provoke us to do that?
All of a sudden, Harold Baines gets a slap out of nowhere. just for no reason. Look, I like Stafford. Stafford's legit, in my opinion. I think he gets in. I do. I think, and look, he's not done yet either. And if everybody who allegedly is going to retire doesn't retire for the Rams, there's no reason to believe he won't put up amazing numbers again next year. May not win it all, but he might put up amazing numbers again, and he'll have that ring to go with him. Again, he's going to be throwing to Cooper Kupp next year, so he's going to put another couple thousand on the board, another 20 touchdowns plus on the board. I think he's going to be just fine, and he's going to get in there, and he belongs in now. How dare you? How dare you guys? That guy's live from Tech East Fire and Water Restoration. Your best way back to normal. Check us out online, tefirewater.com. Stafford gets in with the Super Bowl win. Okay, so Chad and I agree on that. Just no jet on jet crime. Okay, no jet on jet crime. You're Chad, one of the loudest, proudest Jets fans, taking Namath shots. They caught me off guard.
Who are the other ones? Aaron Donald, no doubt, and Von Miller, no doubt.
Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
I think so.
And I think Andrew Whitworth gets in now. The Man of the Year award probably helps his career. He's played till he's 40. Former president of the Players Association.
He's got the fame now with this because he's somebody that everybody kind of liked like a year or two ago, and they were starting to get into it and everything like that. But like with how long he's played and how much better this O-line is with his old butt out there, and he's probably hanging it up. When he was told he's now the oldest player to start a game, blah blah blah, this year, or the oldest team player in the league, and he said we'll see how for a week or so. He either is going to retire or thinks Brady's coming back. It's one of the or both. I don't know, but that's neither here nor there. In a second, we'll pivot over some other stuff, but I just want to tell you about my good friend Cindy Martin.
Yeah,
Cindy Martin, part of the Jen Karam team over at Howard Hanna Realty. If you're looking to sell your home, if you're looking to buy a home, if somebody who lives in other states looking to move here, she works with a realtor. She's perfect for this stuff. She always points out like the wrinkles that I don't think a lot of people think about when they're doing this stuff. Like, oh, it's too cold to sell my house, or oh, I'll wait until the summer, or whatever. If somebody's out looking for a home right now, they're serious. They're motivated to buy. You are in a better position to sell. So that kind of stuff is beautiful. And conversely, she knows that people think that way. So if you're looking for a home right now, she's going to look around and go and try to play that game for you, work it towards your angle, because when you work with Cindy, you're not a client, you're her people. She takes care of her people. It's what we love the most about her. She's a rabid local sports fan, big fan of the Empire, one of the biggest supporters of the Empire, and of course, just a great realtor. Just really, really cares about her people, knows all the ways, works with the best local attorneys, insurance companies, inspectors, everybody. That's what she does. Get all over today. Cynthia Martin at howardhanna.com, Cynthia Martin at howardhanna.com, or call her up, 518-932-5558. 518-932-5558. Cindy Martin. She is she's the realtor to talk to over there at Howard Hanna and anywhere. Works local, works global. She'll help you out. Cindy Martin. Again, 518-932-5558. Do you want to play a little game I came up with?
Ooh, another game.
Little game.
All right, I like games today.
Will they really retire?
Oh, da 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 da.
Yeah. All right. We're going to start this game with Aaron Donald. We talked about it a little bit. Aaron Donald, 30 years young. He is potentially could have been Super Bowl MVP in this thing with the way he finished the game. We're talking about a guy with 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, 8 Pro Bowls in his 8-year career, 7 times All-Pro, made over $97 million, has an opt-out. If he did decide to leave, he'd be leaving $52 million on the table. Will Aaron Donald retire?
Boy, this is the hardest one out of the gates.
Well, we already talked about those, so I figured I'd go to it.
I would go with, I can't believe I'm going to say this. I think the answer is yes for 2 reasons. I think it's yes for 2 reasons. One, it was brought up so often. Sometimes when it's a rumor and it's constantly being talked about over and over and over again, there's something that's happening behind the scenes that even the media doesn't know about. I feel as if Donald had told somebody, as long as I get a Super Bowl, I'm done, I'm set, I'm satisfied. So because of that, I feel like he will. Now, you mentioned the opt-out there. Yeah, if you leave $52 million on the table, people are going to think you're insane. But we talked about legacies and greatness and all that stuff. You can make a case right now that if Aaron Donald retires, he is the second best defensive player in the history of the NFL behind Lawrence Taylor. That's how good his resume stacks up against any defensive player ever. So I would say yes, because he could be in that conversation as the greatest of all time. If he starts getting his butt kicked 3 years from now, I don't know if we'll still have that same conversation. So, yeah, I would say he's actually going to retire.
So close, yet so far away. Not going to retire, using this as leverage to make sure that $52 million becomes completely guaranteed, maybe a little bit more. I don't know how it's going to work out, but he's not going to retire yet. Sorry, Tom. Great time playing, though. You enjoy this at-home game. Will they retire?
Do I get this as a prize?
No, you don't. That's expensive. We need that. For those of you listening on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast, it could be in the tears of children. He just held up one of the Empire helmets. Okay. Next up, a mere 6 years older than Mr. Aaron Donald, 36 years young, 20 days, is the youngest head coach to ever win the Super Bowl. Sean McVay. Will Sean McVay retire?
No. And Andrew Marchand, knock it off. I know where that report came from. It was Marchand saying, well, Amazon's interested in Coach Sean McVay. No, he is not retiring. Where did this even come from, this story? No, he is not retiring.
Wrong again. Actually, I don't know if you're wrong or not, but let me make the other case here. Rumors are Al Michaels is going to get about $11 million a year from Amazon. Can you imagine being 36 years old and getting $11 million a year to talk about football? Not to deal with the crap, not to be told you don't know what you're doing, and every time hire a new coaching staff every year as your OCs in Minnesota, your DCs over here, and this one and that one. No, you're not allowed to keep anybody. The ball boy just got hired. He's the new head coach of the friggin' Birmingham Blazers or whatever the F it is. So you could make the argument. Been to 2 Super Bowls, 36 years old, leave him wanting more. I'm a good-looking dude with hot chick, wife, girlfriend thing. I'm going. I'm out.
I know the 2 most recent coaches that retired young who won Super Bowls were John Madden and John Gruden, who had very good broadcasting careers. Stop trying to make this a thing. No.
All right. One last contestant, and will they really retire? You know him, you love him. He's the oldest guy on the board right now, about 45 years old. He's the former quarterback of the New England Patriots as well as Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tom Brady has left the door open a crack. Will Tom Brady retire?
Oh, man, I thought the Aaron Donald one was the hardest one. As a Buccaneer fan, I think I've realized he's not coming back to the Bucs. I will say yes, Tom Brady is retired. And I don't know why he's doing this flirting game with Jim Gray. I don't know if he's trying to get views or promote something. The San Francisco story that's floating around. Have you seen this?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's go home.
Yeah. The story is the Bucs going to retain his rights and then trade him to San Francisco for Garoppolo. I don't believe that's going to happen. I will say he stays retired.
Bonus round, Brett Favre. Will he come back?
What do you think about Brady? I thought I was going to get the buzzer for the 3rd time.
I don't see. There's an old saying out there. If you knock on the devil's door long enough, he's going to answer. I don't want to talk about him. I want to think about him. Let him go away. Let me start thinking about number 10 at Michigan again instead of what number 12 has done in New England and Tampa. I'm not going to talk about it, because then he's going to come back. I do love the GIF out there, or the meme, or whatever the hell, whichever one it is, where they put him in the Jets gear and they go, "You want to prove you're the greatest? You got one challenge left."
You're that, Chad? Yeah. How's that sound, Chad?
Yeah. So I'm not gonna. I think he's really retired, because as much as he's got that insane competitive nature and everything, what do you got left? Like, why in the world am I going to keep getting up at, or not going to bed and working out every day? And the guy loves to drink beer, hasn't had, he had a couple tequila shots and threw a trophy, and everybody talks about it all the time. Like, this, why? What do I have left to prove?
My new favorite one is the anti-Brady people going wild on social media saying, "Wow, how selfish of Tom Brady to keep playing sports and not care about his children. What type of father are you?" I'm like, relax. Okay?
I love that. I love that argument. I think it's a great argument. I think they should go with it. I think it's real. God. Let Ben Affleck cry himself to sleep. Let Matt Damon hold him while they fall asleep crying over Brady not being Tommy. No, Tommy.
You didn't mention one. What about Aaron Rodgers? Another 12 quarterback, soon to be Hall of Famer. Aaron Rodgers, is he going to retire or not?
He's not retiring. He's going back to Green Bay. They said they're going to give him whatever he wants to stay. He's going back. Here's the beauty of this, right? How great is this for me to dine on the tears of my enemies, right? Denver hires Nathaniel freaking Crockett Hackett to be their head coach, thinking for sure they're going to get Rodgers. He stays in Green Bay. They're stuck with this guy, and they still have a quarterback. That'd be phenomenal. Meanwhile, everybody's like, "Oh, Davante Adams is going to stay because his favorite quarterback." Wow. What about his quarterback from Fresno State? What about his guy from college to take less money to have him there? What about a little Vegas for you, Davante? All of a sudden, I get to screw over Denver in this thing. I get to laugh at Green Bay a little bit. I don't have a big issue with Green Bay, but screw Aaron Rodgers is very annoying. And I get Davante Adams to help my Raiders. Everything's coming up Levack this year, my friend.
You say the Raiders. I do not buy it. Not only is he not retiring, he is not going back to Green Bay. The whole thing about Green Bay putting out reports of, "We're going to do everything to keep him." That is like the boyfriend or girlfriend that you've tried to dump 4 times at the last moment. Like, no, I'll change. I know I've been the same way for 15 years, but no. This year's different, I swear. No, he's out of Green Bay. Here's the team that Aaron Rodgers is going to play for. I know you want him in the Raiders.
I don't want him in the Raiders.
He's going to Tennessee.
I'm fine with that.
He's going to the Titans. Here's what's going to happen with Tennessee.
I just don't want him in the AFC West.
There's reports coming from Jared Stillman, who I believe we've had on the show before, who has found out, this is always a creepy way to do it, but good for people who do it, that Rodgers has bought a house in Nashville. He's bought a house in Nashville. He can go to the Titans. The Titan roster is set. You and I have both agreed that if it wasn't Tannehill, how far could Tennessee go? Rodgers, Derrick Henry, A.J. Brown, Julio Jones, thanks for coming. You're out. Davante Adams is in. That team, all of a sudden with Rodgers, is a Super Bowl favorite. And at Tennessee, we said this earlier in the show, teams that got to go all in, that did it. Rams, it worked. Bucks, it works. There's your all-in move, Tennessee.
Wrong. Davante Adams is not going to Tennessee. He's going to Vegas. Okay? All right? He's going to go play with this college quarterback. I don't know how many times I got to tell you that. And not going to happen. Listen, you know why you build a house outside of Nashville? 2 reasons. Dirt cheap. You just damn near build it for you. Just like Big and Rich show up and start singing about coming to your party. Next thing you know, there's a 4-story split level friggin' mansion built for you. 2, Nashville is amazing. Everyone should want to go to Nashville. It is fun. Vegas is one of my favorite trips I've ever taken in my life. I want to go back. I just need some free time. Someone tell Mike Corda to let go of my shackles. I want free time. I want to go to Vegas. I don't even care if I go into debt over it. I'm going. That's like saying somebody built a house in Vegas and they're going to be a Raider. No, it's Vegas. Like, why wouldn't you? Like if somebody builds a house in Minnesota, that's when you're like, oh, wait a minute. That dude might want to be a Viking. Because there's nothing to do in Minnesota except for ice fish, become ice, and then ride a roller coaster in a mall. Those are the only 3 things to do in Minnesota. But Nashville, like that's one of the best places in the world.
Yeah, we will see what Rodgers decides to do. I know we just mentioned the Titans in Rodgers' possibility. That reminds me, John Stone Supply in Troy. Shout out to Tom who just wrote
before that.
Yeah.
Chad Hideaway said we're going to Nashville. So bleep you all. I'm out of here.
Oh.
Chad, I need a file. I need to get the shackle off my ankle, and then we're going. We'll go to Nashville.
I miss Chad. We got to see him soon.
Well, I think you have to buy me a giant Bloody Mary.
I went 4 for 5. I think I got you. Unless you went 6 for 7.
I went 5 for 7. I only needed to get more right than you. I didn't need it right. So I think I got 5. Yeah.
Let's see. I don't know. Johnstone Supply in Troy, your spot, 6th Avenue, 2% off. John Goodman Furnaces. I had to check out my basement.
I think it's a tie, so I think Chad has to buy both of our.
All right, we'll do the count on that.
Extra chicken fingers.
Johnstone Supply in Troy is helping you this winter. If you're having issues with those biggest things that are in your basement, you don't know what you're doing, you're just staring at it like a dope. Don't worry, we have a number for you: 518-272-5922. We won't judge you if you got the questions. Tom won't judge you when you call him, or Kev, or Robert. Whoever, James, George, maybe even. Nobody's going to judge you there. 518.
You're looking at your furnace like this.
That's right. 272-5922. There he is. 518. That's me. 272-5922. Check him out on Facebook as well. If you've got any questions for them, all good stuff. The boilers, the furnaces, the things you need. And if you're working on some winter projects, you need to find a place with competitive prices to find those things you need, the tools and more. It's right there. 6th Avenue in Troy. Johnstone Supply, helping you here in the capital region.
I agree. I like that. I like, it's another one of your friends that works well with my friends. Because furnaces are definitely an issue this time of year. You don't want to let it go bad. You need a good furnace. Huh? A John
Goodman furnace. That's right. That's
good
right.
Man furnace. All right. It is a Techies Tuesday. Football, a little sad. It's like it feels over. Last night, I'm playing around the TV and I'm flipping through things, and there's nothing. There's no football. That hurt. Like I know there wasn't the week before either, but like you knew the Super Bowl was coming. It hurt. Are you ready to dive into the NBA? Are you excited?
It's a New York story here too. Everybody I can't stand: Harden, Simmons, Durant, Kyrie, villains across the board, and I love it. I love that this trade happened. You and I were kind of feeling like, because of the conflicting reports from Windhorst, and it broke on the show and everything else, that this wasn't going to happen. Is casual as an NBA fan as I am, and what I mean is that I need the storylines to be bought in.
It means he doesn't wear pants when he watches basketball.
This I can watch. I can't wait to watch what happens with these guys going forward. Boos, cheers, everything else.
See, you're skipping ahead in the story.
Oh,
how about the fact that the Knicks play the Nets tomorrow, and the Knicks are favored? Tomorrow, I think it's tomorrow. The Knicks are favored now because KD's hurt. Kyrie can't play in New York yet, and now Harden's gone. So the Knicks, who are just spinning the toilet bowl when they play good teams, are actually favoring this game, which means they're going to get smoked. I almost live bet the Knicks last night when they were -8.5, and they still found a way to lose. Some weird looking dude, Diggy or Giddy or Twitchy or whatever the hell his name is, get a triple double on him. It looked like bring your awkward friend to work day. He's dropping a triple double on the friggin' Knicks.
Somebody's creative player 2K system hacked the game. Right. Was really out there play. Who made this guy? Just some random player.
Absurd.
The Nets, by the way, did beat the Kings the other day. For all these people who wanted to bet on the
dude, that was Kings a bad call for you, man.
Terrible.
The worst part was, so we're in a group text. Guys like, I got that one. I'm like, I thought I would we're confused. I'm like, did I stop listening? I thought you said you were betting on the Nets and they were down 28-2 to the Celtics.
Yep, and then I went back and tried to double down and said, don't worry, the Kings will get them this time. Unbelievable. Anyways, they're 0-10, and the games they won were the ones I bet with them. So
after the All-Star break, you get KD back, they'll start winning basketball games. Kyrie, maybe with all the mask mandates loosening up, maybe Kyrie gets to play a little bit. Then they'll be a good team again.
Yeah, and I think if they become a good team, a competitive team, that's all great stuff for the playoffs. Okay. They're sitting at an 8 seed right now, and remember that reseeding 7, 8, 9, 10 all make it. I do want to see Brooklyn get to that round of 8. I guess we have to call it now the opening round. No, you got to call it the round of 8, where we get a matchup with them against a Philly, a Milwaukee.
I think it's the Big Mac tournament. I think it's the Big Mac tournament.
That's what it's called now. Because I want to see the top players like Durant and Simmons see if they can answer the call. Oh, they've said they're the best. They said they're this, they're that. Okay. It's playoff time. Let's see how great you guys are. And I'm not going to get into the science of this or the state mandates, but I wonder if Kyrie is somehow going to feel vindicated that if for whatever reason New York changes their vaccination laws, that he gets to go back out there. Because we were seeing some of these mask mandates change across the country. Maybe Kyrie's eventually just going to be allowed to play somehow.
I think so. It has to at this point, because all the news is coming out that things are going the right way and it's starting to get warmer, which is you're going to have to loosen up because of the science, which means if you don't let him play, you're actually like going against him for some reason. He'll get to play. He'll get to play in time before the playoffs. And will there be enough time for chemistry to develop between Ben Simmons and Kyrie and everyone else? No, there won't. But it won't matter because they'll have the better players and they'll win a bunch of games. That's what will happen.
I want him to stink. I want Ben Simmons to stink, though. I want them to get in the playoffs, and then he just gets booed off, and he cries, well, they're being mean to me again. And Durant's like, they're being mean to me. No, too much. Too much. It's going to be entertaining to watch it all explode. I can't wait.
I do enjoy a little chaos in there in Brooklyn. I don't mind that one bit at all. I know there's another story you want to talk about. I want to get to that in a second. And I also want to point out, finally, one of the other shows on the Godzilla Media Network is worth checking out today. I'll tell you why in a second. But first, I want to tell my good friend, Dr. Fred Dreer in the Integrative Sleep Center in Boston Spa. 518-885-6185. 518-885-6185. Got to see my cousin Sunday. Haven't seen him in a minute. He is going for his molding. So he's getting his mouthpiece made. So he went in. They've been helping him out, did the sleep study, all that stuff, Integrative Sleep Center. This goober, who I love to death, Fireman Dave, he gets through his entire consultation, everything else, and then they're like, oh, how'd you hear about us? He goes, Jeff Levack. And they're like, oh, how do you know? On the radio? No, he's my cousin. They're like, why didn't you tell us that from the rip? He's family. Like, I'm family there. That's my Doc Dreer, Laura Ann. I mean, that's my family. You're my family. They're like, you idiot. Okay, well, we take care of everyone. You can prove that now because he's like, dude, it's amazing. They were just great to me the entire time. But after they found out that we were family, it was like, Heart Bliss played. It was great. But no, like everybody who goes in and says I sent them, they treat you great. They treat everybody great. But get your sleep, the mouthpiece, not the mask. His wife is thrilled because they've already got him sleeping on his side now instead of his back, so the snoring's already reduced. He doesn't even have his mouthpiece yet. So once he gets that, he's going to be happily married, which I married them. So that'll be nice that I was there to marry them. And now my advice is going to get them sleeping better together. I'm not going to babysit. Don't sleep too well together. So everybody should call Doc Dreer and the Integrative Sleep Center. I know it's a long way to put that out there, but it's cool to see it coming together. 518-885-6185. 518-885-6185. Dr. Fred Dreer and the Integrative Sleep Center in Boston Spa. They're helping me sleep better. They'll help you sleep better too.
You mentioned one of the Godzilla Media shows that we may have crashed. Can you do me a favor and just
the Forbidden Door?
Yeah, you guys are going to watch them here. Go up and scroll up to our banner because it looks like one of the Godzilla Media shows just tried kicking out our own personal banner here. Yeah, hit that top one.
This one?
Yeah, hit that and hit show. Thank you. Yeah.
What are they doing?
For somehow the second banner was starting to pop up. Our ticker, one of the other shows.
I'm going to delete it.
No, don't delete it. Don't delete it. Don't delete it.
Oh, they've got multiple versions of it. Turds.
There you go. Do you want to tell that story of what we did with the Forbidden Door today? This
is
great.
Godzilla Media is like me and then the rest of them, So it's like,
where am I on that?
I let you sit next to me.
Oh, okay.
And then, you do like, Getting Nowhere with Goz or whatever the hell that's called. The WTF show, literally it's called What the Fuck. Like, why is anyone listening?
No, that's
to
Mark
this?
Maron. We talk fantasy. That's the name of it.
That's what that is. And then there's like MMM. So Ashley's very cool. Those other guys keep trying to sell me stuff. I think they're telemarketers. All that stuff. So then there's former like coworker Brian Cady and JJ. I just call him Sunglasses Guy because he's always got crazy sunglasses on. So they do a show called White Heat where they talk about the wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
So I noticed they were on when we were about to start, and I'm like, guys, I don't know how this works. He goes, no, you don't need. There's different studios. We can go in different studios. And then Goz gets this like sinister look, and the reason that Goz and I have been friends as long as we are, Goz goes, but we can jump into their show if you want. I did it earlier, so I'm like, you're damn right we will. So in wrestling, there's this phrase called the Forbidden Door. It's where everybody who you don't think is going to be in AEW comes in, they sign with AEW. So we pop through the Forbidden Door and just start talking shit to them. And it's like, again, the White Heat show, I tried to get him to answer why it's called White Heat. Toots McGee has a great thing. He wants to know, are we talking about Jeff Zilla Media? I would go with Levack Media, I think, is where I would go.
Imagine if like Levack had this shirt I'm wearing and just like face,
just duct tape.
Just his face was anyway.
I feel ratings going up as we speak. Listen, I'm not known for my face. Let's be real. No, so we just jumped in and started talking smack. So if there was ever one of those white heat shows to check out, it's today's. And I want to start doing that randomly.
Yes. Okay, we're on the same page again here. All right.
Well, so especially these turds like Zit and Booger, or whatever the frick their names are.
Sports with the Siena T, Bryson Taylor.
Well, it's Matt today. There's no Taylor.
Oh no, that's Made for Philly. They're going to be talking about all.
Made for Philly tried to screw with our banner. So maybe we'll jump into that. We'll just randomly. I mean, what are they going to do? There's two reasons that they can't do anything. One, you own the freaking company, and two, listen, if I come on your show, it's the most freaking talent you've had on your show. Any way you want to spell that C word. That's the most talent you've ever had on your show. I
love the idea of the element of surprise.
I love that you didn't get that.
I knew what you said and I didn't know how to respond. I love it. Anyway to jump in the show, continue to watch us on social media. Levack and Goz are going to be popping up all over the place. We're not going full P. Diddy like Suge Knight said. We're not going to be all up in the videos, dancing. We're just going to run in, say stuff, and run out.
So, all right, little inside baseball for everybody real quick. So we usually broadcast. We use my laptop to broadcast because yours is, I can't believe it's here. Piece of shit.
Allegedly, it's going to be gone this week.
Yeah, it's allegedly going before Christmas. Allegedly going, like the keyboard legitimately is so just crusted over with lost Goz dreams from porn that it just like it bows. So anytime somebody's on, I can get in because I'm already logged in to your programs.
Yes.
I'm gonna be sitting there eating popcorn, watching Ozark, and just be like, oh, screw it, and just jump in a show. I'm gonna do it.
This is better than Twitter Spaces. That's right. You're gonna be like a movie podcast one day. You're gonna be an M&M another day.
Yeah.
All right. So keep your eyes on Godzilla Media. Where will Levack be on these shows?
We should make it a contest. Like if you happen to like catch it right when we do it. Like some I won't even stay in. I'll just do it long enough to freak them out.
If they get out.
And then get out. Like I might have to like stage a scene. Like you met Paulie here at Tech East. I might just like Paulie, do what you will, and then pop in and like Paulie like run around with a sheep and hot dogs and God knows what, juggling. All right,
I know we rarely ever talk about wrestling on this, but I feel like it's been the dominant thing today across sports. If you missed it, basically quickly to recap, there's now two big major companies, WWE and All Elite Wrestling. The guy who founded All Elite Wrestling, Cody Rhodes.
Wow, way to crap on Impact right after we had your boy on. Right after we had him.
I love Impact Wrestling, Tom Hannafin.
Wow.
Very talented broadcaster.
He is. He's a cool dude. I like him.
He's leaving, and it's not a joke. It's not
Tom's leaving?
No. Cody Rhodes is leaving. It's not a work, as they use the term. It's not fake. He's really leaving. He might go back to the WWE. Do you care about the story? Is it a big deal? Is it what do you make of this? Because you've been following wrestling on and off, but this jumping back and forth between companies for me is really cool and super interesting.
The problem is that we know. Because that used to be the best when you'd be sitting there watching like Monday Night Raw or Nitro or whatever, and like Rick Rude's on both, and or somebody that you didn't expect to show up just comes popping out. Like that's why the Royal Rumble is maybe my favorite of the pay-per-views, because you're always going to get somebody you didn't expect to see. The fact that we always know sucks. Like if Cody Rhodes could show up, what's the last time the Hardy Boys?
Yeah, that's it.
That was like the last one they actually look at. I've been actually paying attention to the wrestling because apparently y'all do, and I have to. And it does make me feel dumber, and I do love the taste of boogers now. But I'm hoping my mom will come back from the dead and buy a house so I can live in her basement. But it's there's some entertainment to it. I don't love that we know. Like the fact that Cody Rhodes is going to show up, we know he's going to show up. Whatever. And you're the third best Rhodes. Dusty, Goldust, then you.
Oh, not Goldust.
Goldust did way more for wrestling than Cody Rhodes did.
He's been
Goldust was the last guy who could get away with pretending to be gay and pretending to have Tourette's. If Goldust existed today, he'd be canceled so freaking fast.
It's true. Yeah.
Like again, his two biggest bits were I'm gay and I'm going to touch your balls, and I have Tourette's. I'm going to say something I shouldn't say. And then when they tried to give him a similar bit, he didn't want it, so he just walked off the one thing. So yeah, listen, Goldust way higher up.
That's a pretty good argument for Goldust. I think I just despised Goldust because he kept getting opportunity after
Because you hate gay
opportunity.
people.
No, whoa.
Oh, people with Tourette's. You hate people with Tourette's. You hate gay people with Tourette's.
No.
Gay old people with Tourette's. Guys will push you down the staircase.
Colored gold.
Oh, all right. Oh, sorry.
That was the one that put me over the top.
Wasn't he
Once painted
Stardust?
himself
Wasn't
gold.
Cody Stardust at one point too? Like a Goldust and Stardust?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think it's an awesome deal because finally, like all these guys from the WWE who jumped to AEW, where oh my God, it's Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson. Oh, it's CM Punk. Some guy was gonna be. They all sounded like that too. Some guy was.
The forbidden door.
Some guy. We should crash the podcast right now. And just make that.
And then get out. Just do that.
Somebody was gonna be smart enough to be the AEW original who jumped to the WWE.
Well, they say there's too
Cody
many
figured it out.
people at AEW. So it went from you left WWE because you wanted to be noticed and AEW would let you be a part of it. Then all of a sudden everybody did that. So it was like it's kind of like it's like modern day America. If everybody's special, nobody's special. Like if everybody gets a trophy, no trophies matter. If everybody gets a ring, no rings matter. There has to be a line.
Yep.
So these like guys like Ziggy Stardust over here, he's gonna pop back over to WWE. And then Shane McMahon is going to go to AEW. And then
that's it. Yes, I just see the swap. There should be really cool. If that actually happened, it could be like the old early 2000s. One other last thing I have on this is that heel move.
Yeah. Rock, owner of the XFL, introduces the Super Bowl for the NFL. He's going to leave the XFL in the dead of night and join the NFL.
My God, the Rock the low blow to the XFL.
Yeah.
Here's what I think happened at the AEW. This is not out there, but I think you and I have a sense working in environments with competitive people and everything else. AEW, like this is the thing with wrestling. There's always stories about like what happens behind the scenes and who doesn't like who. And like that's just the drama, the soap opera behind the soap opera. You never heard anything about anything bad ever happening with all elite wrestling AEW until today. What I have a feeling happened is this. Cody Rhodes had a vision of what he wanted to do. Tony Khan had a bunch of money and felt all like the social media buzz, like, oh my God, everybody loves me on Twitter and Facebook. I'm going to sign all these wrestlers, like you said. And Cody Rhodes is like, no. And they fought, but Tony Khan has $1 billion, and Cody said, peace, I'm out. See ya.
And I already know the first storyline. You ready? If I get this right, what do I get?
Another Bloody Mary from the Hideaway.
What was the first thing Cody Rhodes did in the AEW?
Smashed the chair, right, of Triple H. Are we talking?
Triple H, recovering from heart issues, which everybody knows about. They're going to feud instantly. He's going to go full-blown heel and almost kill Triple H.
WrestleMania this year, I'll sign up for Cody Rhodes, Triple H.
Triple H is going to come out. It's going to be a feel-good moment. And then what's
Rhodes going to blast him?
What's Cody Rhodes' finishing move?
Oh,
I'm not
Crossroads.
Oh,
doesn't sound as impressive when I say it.
It's not terrible though. It's not terrible. As Goz calls it, I hate gay people with Tourette's, and then
who are painted gold.
Yeah.
Please add that in there. I don't want to.
Please.
It's like the old.
Please send all hate mail to Goz, Goz at GozzillaMedia.com. He doesn't care as long as you actually use the website. He'll be okay with it. Did you see? Actually, I'm sorry. Go to the website and see how your boy picked this season before it started.
Oh, I didn't go through those picks.
10 of 17 playoff teams. Five. I had five of the division winners right. I had two of the championship games right, and I ended up having the Super Bowl winner right.
Ooh. All right, we're going to do this on this weekend show, likely to be released Saturday morning. I will go through our NFL picks from the preseason. So I'm going to do a little point system, see who won that. And I will confirm our final picks of who's paying for who's big old Bloody Mary at the Hideaway. Those will be coming up on Saturday's show. We got Q&A to end the day coming up, but I got to get to this because they're our friends. We love them. It's now past Valentine's Day, but Lily and David Fine Jewelers is at their new spot at the Shops of Wilton. Guys,
and let's be honest, if you blew Valentine's Day, you definitely need some Lily and David.
Look at that. Levack already knew exactly. We're on the same page today. That's exactly
this is what you do. You walk in, I need Alyssa. I need Alyssa's help right now.
I can just imagine, guys, you're crawling into the new low. Keep Alyssa. Please help me. God said, come here.
I didn't do anything for Valentine's Day.
I heard him talking about the engagement where he was sweating, trying to buy the ring. It can't be worse than this, can it? No, it won't, because they're going to help you there. They are professionals. Take advantage, guys, for those engagement ring prices that are going on at Lily and David Fine Jewelers. They will help you find the ring that she wants, that she's going to love for years, that fits your budget. Look, most of you don't know what you're doing when it comes to the jewelry industry. That's totally fine. Lily and David Fine Jewelers will help you. They've done it before throughout the capital region. The new location at the Shops of Wilton is where you want to go. My engagement ring, wedding band, all that stuff is happening at Lily and David Fine Jewelers. 2-for-1 wedding band deals always going on now post Valentine's Day. It's a huge thing, especially if you're prepping for a wedding. Guys, you might have already gotten engaged. That's great. But now what do you do for the wedding? Those little things are a huge help. I'm telling you, Lily and David Fine Jewelers, they've helped me. Levack knows them as well. Great partnership with those guys. If you want to support the podcast, support us, whether it's a birthday, a great anniversary coming up, the best place to go for that stuff is Lily and David Fine Jewelers at their new spot, the Shops of Wilton.
When I got to talk to Alyssa right after you were off the radio show we did, and I went and met with Alyssa, and I was like, look, love you, want to make sure the message is still presented. She was like, one of the things they like to do is you bring the missus in. Maybe it's not for, maybe you don't let her know it's exactly the engagement ring, but like while she's talking to her, she's getting her style down, right? So that she can help you pick out the engagement ring. Now she knows it's coming. It's even easier because then Alyssa will work with her and make sure it's the perfect ring. As we're talking, I kind of got the vibe that Alyssa was like feeling me out. Like, is there someone dumb enough that you might propose to them? Because bring her in, I'll warn her. Or I'll make sure that you spend way more money on a ring and make it worth it for her. I thought that was what was going on. No, it was actually, she's just such a, like, the best thing about her is she's nice, but she's also super straightforward.
Yes.
So like if you say to her, like, here's my price range, she's going to tell you like, okay, then this is what you're looking at. If you decided to go here, we could do this. If you needed to come down here, we could do this. She's just super straightforward. That's why I really
She gets it. Look, guys
Yeah.
have been there for hours trying to figure it out. They help you make it easier.
Yep. And you're going to get it right. You're going to get it right. All right, Q&A of the day. We're live here. It's a Tech East Tuesday. Tech East Fire and Water Restoration. Best way back to normal. Check us out online, tefirewater.com. You know, fire, mold, water, anything going on, any mitigation for your house, we're the ones to help you out. We also have a construction department. We got you. We're good. We got you. We'll take good care of you. Especially this time of year. You definitely you need us. We're here. We'll start Instacam. Heartbroken. Ryan Zimmerman announced his retirement. Hit him like a freight train.
Oh, he's a big Nationals fan, right? Cam, man, he has a great career all the way up from the minor leagues. I got to watch Zimmerman play for the Syracuse Chiefs. Now the Syracuse Mets. Yeah, the Syracuse Chiefs back then. Awesome guy. Yeah, tough. Really good player.
And then what he really wanted. You want me to help like I did last year? He like shagged balls for us and stuff at the Empire. Yes, of course, Cam. You're in.
All right.
You know you're part of the Empire. That's how we met, buddy. You're in. Ryan McCarthy. You want to know why Gattuso didn't Wally Pip you? When Goz was out for a while and Gattuso filled in, he's like, he's Wally Pip. Goz Wally Pip. He's out. I'm taking over. That's the whole thing. Philly Wish, of course, this is my comment. You're lucky you have a gun.
I got one here.
Right.
Mike on Facebook wrote in, can you guys talk about how incompetent Conference USA is? No, we don't have – no. We got 2 shows a week, Mike. We are not focusing on Conference USA, although we appreciate you listening.
Actually, that could be coming up. We're out of football. So
you know what? Maybe Saturday.
Maybe next one. Corey. Hi, guys. Guys, what are the Bucs going to do at quarterback? I need an article. They are doing their homework. I read an article. I'm sorry. Doing their homework on Watson and looking at Wilson. Are they worth it?
Somehow when you read that, ask Corey, I just have imagined.
Hi, guys.
Corey has like this vision of them with like binoculars at their house. Like, I'm doing my homework.
I always just
What's Wilson and Sierra doing over there, huh?
Corey. I love Corey.
Garoppolo's the answer right now in February, and I'm allowed to change it every month.
You want Garoppolo?
No, I don't.
There's really nobody out there.
No.
I mean, it's not a good time to need a quarterback. That's for sure. We had a lot of love with Toots McGee. We had Chad helping out today.
I got a comment here from Murphy. I said I posted this earlier on Twitter about the Cody Rhodes thing. I said, is it sad or is it impressive that at 32 years old, I don't know if this Cody Rhodes thing is fake or not. Murphy wrote in, you spelled compliment wrong, dummy. So it's totally sad you even posted this. Then Fred wrote, I want this Murphy guy to Hell in the Cell match at WrestleMania. What the hell is going on in my comments?
People are so aggressive on the socials.
The wrestling Twitter is a whole different world out there. It's like wrestling Twitter is probably the most angry of the bunch.
Football on the No has a question. Hey, guys, what do you make of the no call on T. Higgins' sideline catch against Ramsey for the touchdown? I think it was an arm drag takedown, speaking of wrestling, and I think it was good for 2 sports. I also think it's funny that they stopped hating you long enough to comment on the show.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for doing that. Maybe I'm way in the minority on this. Watching that play live, I thought, ooh, that might have been a lot of contact there. And then watch it in slow motion. It's like, oh my God, he grabbed his face, man. Live, I did not think it's a penalty. Maybe that's why I shouldn't be an official in any sport ever. It's not as bad as everybody makes these calls out to be. It's not the New Orleans Rams play.
And they
from a
even
few years
out.
ago.
They even out,
exactly.
too. They do. All right, a couple more. Tom Gross, what do you think of the Empire signing today? I think it's awesome. I think Grant's a hell of a receiver. I think it's going to be like our training camp this year could have more talent than most teams in this entire league will all season. So that's good.
I'll add this to Tom. I think Levack and maybe Coach are downplaying the signing. I feel like Grant has a chance to be the offensive player of the year in the NAL this season. If
Over Darius Prince?
Prince would be the MVP. It's weird how voting works for that stuff, which, by the way, I'd like to.
But if they both did that, then wouldn't you give it to whoever the quarterback is, whoever wins our quarterback competition?
Well, if they decide to let media members vote this year, I'd like to consider maybe voting that way.
I'll just let you fill out my bracket.
Okay.
Do you guys think there will be a full baseball season this year from Toots McGee?
No.
Pitchers and catchers were supposed to report today. You know how many times, like, if you look back in this day in history on Facebook, I was buying Yankee tickets and there's no tickets to buy this year. It's very sad. I think full season, but no, they're going to cut into their spring training a lot.
This is a dirty little secret that I really believe about baseball now in 2022. I think they don't really love the idea of it being 162 games. I feel like this lockout, right? I think this lockout's going to happen that if they push it to 80, like Manfred thought, like, oh, I'm going to hold it against you guys. Like, if you don't play more games, you're not going to. Players are like, look, it's more urgency for the season. We have an expanded postseason. As long as the networks have the playoffs and everything else, people are going to care about those games more.
Yeah, but they're going to cut their cash.
They could cut their cash, no doubt, and how much of that impact of the 80-game season, but maybe their thought process is if we can get more fans in games that feel more important, maybe that number will even out. Curious to see how that plays out because I wonder if a 80-game season is going to feel more exciting than 162.
If anything, I think you're looking at like 140, 120 something. I don't think they're cut all the way back. This baseball is losing the foothold it had. Like it was already slipping, but now it's to the point where people like me who love baseball are like, all right, well, I guess I'm not going to any games this year. I didn't go to any games last year, and I could have. Like I had the ability, I had the time, I had the cash. I didn't do it. Well, we went to the one Mets game with Dr. Eric.
Yeah,
that was it, and that was more than a Mets game. That was hey, let's believe it or not. Let me say something that isn't what you think it is. Let's get on a party bus with a lot of dentists and lawyers and get crazy. That's what happened.
We had so much fun.
It was great. I get crazy this strong, but it was a lot. It was a guy's trip. It was a guy's fishing trip without fish. Everybody drank. Everybody had a blast. Everybody watched the game. Everybody got along. It was awesome. It was fantastic. Yeah. So I hope they figure it out because I really want to get excited about baseball this year. I want to get excited about the Yankees this year, which is going to be interesting because they're the same team they were last year, basically. I want all those things. I do. All right, time to cut this thing off.
That's it. It's over. What an awesome show. A lot of football talk, a lot of baseball, a lot of basketball, a lot of interaction. We appreciate you guys watching. Plan is Friday or Saturday. By Saturday morning, you will have a show out. Now, whether we go live Friday or not, we have some things we want to tape. It might be live. It might not. Look,
I think Coach Manas said he's going to join us this weekend. Okay. Whenever we're on, as long as it fits his schedule. Because, like, again, as the president of the Albany Empire, he does all the players. Like, I would screw that up so horribly wrong. He does a great job with talent on the roster. As somebody who's going to have to, like, sign these checks, how the hell are we paying all these guys? How the hell this much talent on one team? How in the – I mean, listen, it's not my money. I just have to sign the checks. But still, I got to make sure we have enough to get through the season.
For the audio audience that listens, you guys don't care if it's live or not. You're listening whenever you go on demand. For the visual side, we might just toss this up for a taped episode and see how it plays out. And Goz might want to test something out in February. And then you can yell at me next week and be like, why weren't you live? Well, Goz wanted to try something different.
A little advice. I like to end every show with some advice. For the first time ever, I recommend watching the other crappy and listening to the other crappy shows on Gozell Media because I'm going to start bombing into them probably right after this. So that's my advice. Everybody, have a great one. Thanks to Tech East. Thanks to everybody. Thanks, Goz.
See you on Gozell Media this week, Levack.
Yeah, randomly, just out of nowhere. Will I have pants on? The world may never know.